Hi, and welcome to More Human, More Resources, the HR podcast for entrepreneurs. I'm Vicki Brown, your host and CEO of Vidamaneo Enterprises. As a serial entrepreneur, I understand that having the right expert help has been critical to my success. That's why I'm dedicated to telling you, in plain language, what's going on in the world of HR that might impact your business and what you need to do about it, with real actionable tips to help you master that list of must-dos and grow your leadership muscle. First things first, the information contained in this podcast is provided for general purposes only and is not to be considered legal advice. Your decision to adopt or not adopt any practice or procedure mentioned in this podcast is solely yours, and we bear no responsibility for the outcome. We urge you to always consult legal counsel and other appropriate licensed professionals. And with that, let's get into the show. You're listening to Season 3, Episode 26. So here's the thing. I'm a Trekkie. You know, one of those old school Star Trek nerds who cut her teeth on Kirk and Spock and Scotty and Bones. And yes, I can still remember how many Quatloos the gamesters of Triskelion were willing to pay for the group. So I would say I'm pretty used to having, quote, the computer, unquote, always omnipresent and managing the background tasks. After all, you don't think Scotty was the one changing the oil on the Enterprise, right? But I have to admit, the recent onslaught of artificial intelligence applications and the glut of news stories around our descent into the Matrix, well, it has certainly given me reason for pause. Now, don't get me wrong. Having the Enterprise computer around, well, that sounds like a really handy thing. But I just didn't really think about the road from here to there. There being all the kinks worked out and confidence that the computer was always going to be on our side and absolute trust in its ability to provide fair, unbiased information. Well, folks, we're not there. Not yet anyway. Today's AI can be incredibly helpful, and I do agree that while it may take the place of some jobs, it will open opportunities for other jobs we haven't even considered. AI prompt developer, anyone? But again, in its current state of evolution, that of an off-puttingly powerful toddler, we're going to have to be incredibly careful. Sure, there are societal questions, but to be even more specific, we as leaders in our companies are going to have to get in front of the wave and figure out how, when, and where we can let AI in. So, before you or your team members start using ChatGPT for everything under the sun, consider these top 4 issues with AI in the workplace. Okay, so the biggest one is confidentiality. I bet you didn't know that all your chats with ChatGPT are stored. No, of course you didn't know, because most of us just blow past the opening statements and notices on websites. I know I do. Your queries and responses are used to help further teach the tool, but while that's happening, your stuff has now become available to the public. Just let that soak in for a few minutes. So you think to yourself, I need a marketing strategy for my new product, purple glitter nose covers. I'll just enter the specifics of the product, my target market, and any other relevant information into ChatGPT and ask it for a marketing strategy. And voila, magically, in about 2 minutes, you have a fully fleshed out marketing strategy for purple glitter nose covers, complete with social media posts, email copy, the works. But you have also just outed your new product to the world. Or maybe it wasn't even you. Maybe it was your junior marketing coordinator. According to Cyberhaven, a leading data security company, the average company leaks confidential material to ChatGPT hundreds of times weekly. ChatGPT is incorporating that material into its publicly available knowledge base and sharing it. Now, you can opt out of it using your information for learning and possible public exposure, but you have to choose to opt out. And again, we usually miss those types of notices. And don't forget the possible issue of destroying trade secret status. I think Duke Law School said it best. A trade secret can be protected for an unlimited period of time, unless it is discovered or legally acquired by others and disclosed to the public. So that sounds like fun, right? You, as the business owner, think something is a trade secret, but it turns out it was put into AI 3 months ago and has been available to the public all that time. So poof, no trade secret protection. Now, I will again mention here that I'm not an attorney, and you should always check with your attorney. But this all seems like it could be potentially a huge problem. All right, I'll stop with the confidentiality issues. Let's move on to possible security issues. While it's true that the biggest player on the field, ChatGPT, doesn't have access to the internet and so wouldn't interact with web-based applications. But the part of ChatGPT that's incorporated into Bing search, well, it does. And on top of that, ChatGPT has announced integrations. So developers are falling all over themselves, creating applications that work with ChatGPT and can provide more access to other applications you use to run your business. For instance, there's Cody AI. It's called the AI trained on your business. You train this AI assistant on your business, your team, your processes, and your clients with your own knowledge base. That means uploading information on your business into the AI. Now, don't get me wrong. It sounds like the use case could be wildly valuable, but let's just say you probably need to carefully vet what's going into the platform. And then there's the problem of AI hallucinations. That's the industry adopted phrase for, well, sometimes artificial intelligence just lies. Oh, it does it with great authority. And to someone untrained in the subject at hand, it may sound absolutely correct and still be a flat-out lie. Here's a recent exchange I had with ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Non-exempt employees in California must also accrue at least 2 weeks of vacation time per year. Me. Why do you say non-exempt employees in California must accrue at least 2 weeks of vacation time per year? ChatGPT. I apologize for the error in my previous response. In California, there is no state law requiring employers to provide vacation time to their employees. What can I say? I guess it was a hallucination. Now, to be fair, just like the confidentiality warning, ChatGPT says right up front that it may provide inaccurate information. But again, we tend to blow past those types of warnings because we're in a hurry to play with the thing. And finally, there's the issue of machine bias. Now, there's a big scientific explanation for machine bias, but I'll boil it down into the explanation provided in the White House's Blueprint for AI Bill of Rights. It says you should not face discrimination by algorithms, and systems should be used and designed in an equitable way. Now, I won't get into the myriad of ways this can play out, but just remember that these AI tools are programmed by people, and people are famous for having biased perspectives and limited exposure. Additionally, AI learns based on the knowledge people have provided. After all, ChatGPT learned basically by scraping information from the internet. And of course, we all know that everything on the internet is true, right? So I'll land the plane by saying AI is beginning to get lots of attention, from the White House to Homeland Security, all the way down to the states. In fact, New York is the first state to create a set of rules around using automated employment decision tools. Yep, that's a fancy name for recruiting AI. So, as an employer, you should really think about the following. How do you want to use AI in your company? Who do you want to have access? What type of limits or guardrails do you need to have? What new laws around AI might impact your company? Update your policies to specifically address AI usage or its prohibition. Talk to your IT department about technology safeguards. And train, train, train.